everyone, and welcome. Have you ever seen a tiny flower growing right out of a crack in a big rock? It seems impossible, right? But that's a special kind of strength. And today, we're going to uncover two ancient stories that are kind of like secret maps, helping us find that same kind of amazing strength deep inside each of us. What really makes someone great? Is it about having giant muscles? Or being the smartest kid in your class? Or having all the coolest toys? It's a huge question, right? And people have been asking it forever. Today, we get to explore some really surprising answers together. All right, so our first story kicks off a long time ago. It starts with these super wise people called sages. And as they were all sitting together, they started thinking about a really big question. They wondered, of all the powerful lords out there, the ones who control the sun, the wind, everything, who is the greatest, most wonderful of all? Now, you can't just guess the answer to a question that big. So they came up with this really clever secret plan. They chose one of the sages, a brave guy named Brigu, to be their special detective. His mission? To go on a secret journey to test the hearts of the three most powerful lords. It was a top secret mission. Okay, so let's follow our detective, Brigu, on this secret test. And get this, to find out what real greatness looks like, he has to do some things that are, well, they're a little bit naughty, but it's all part of the plan. First stop, the mighty Lord Brahma. So picture this. Brigu walks into this huge, amazing court. Now, the polite thing to do, what everyone does, is bow. But what does Brigu do? He just stands there, doesn't say a word, doesn't bow. He's totally testing Lord Brahma, trying to see if this little bit of disrespect will ruffle his feathers. Let's see what happens. And, oh boy, it worked. For just a second, Lord Brahma got so angry. You could almost see the steam coming out of his ears. But because he's so wise, he caught himself. He took a huge breath and calmed his heart right back down. Phew. So he kind of passed. But that little flash of anger, the sages would definitely make a note of. All right, next up. Brigu travels to the snowy mountain of Kailasa to meet the powerful Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva is so happy to see his friend, he gets up smiling with his arms wide open for a great big hug. And Brigu, he just backs away and says, "Nope, not gonna hug you." Can you even imagine doing that? Whoa, okay, that did not go over well. Lord Shiva's eyes just flashed with fury. He was so insulted, he grabbed his giant three-pointed weapon, the trident, and was ready to throw it right at Brigu. For real. Luckily, his kind wife, the goddess Devi, was right there. She grabbed his arm and calmed him down. Man, that was a really close call. Okay, for his last and final test, Brigu does the most unbelievable, shocking thing of all. He travels to the beautiful, peaceful home where Lord Vishnu is resting, and he walks right up to him and kicks him. I'm not kidding. He kicks him right there on the chest. What on earth is going to happen now? You are not going to believe this. Lord Vishnu doesn't get angry. Not even a tiny bit. He just opens his eyes and smiles. And then he apologizes to Brigu. He says, "Oh, welcome. Please forgive me. I didn't see you come in. Oh, my chest is so hard like a rock. I really hope I didn't hurt your foot." He was worried about the foot that just kicked him. I mean, wow. Brigu ran all the way back to the other sages and told them everything. And in that moment, the answer was crystal clear. Real greatness wasn't about controlling your anger like Lord Brahma or having scary power like Lord Shiva. The greatest strength of all was inside Lord Vishnu's heart, a heart so full of kindness and forgiveness that nothing could shake it. So, we learned that a peaceful heart is a kind of super strength. But what about the strength we use in our actions? For that, let's jump to our second story. It's about a hero named Arjuna, who was maybe the best archer in the entire world. But he was about to learn that even the strongest muscles can't solve every problem. So in this faraway kingdom, there was a good man who was just completely heartbroken. You see, he and his wife had 9 children. But every single time a baby was born, something strange and sad would happen. The baby would just disappear, right before their very eyes. Just imagine how terrible that would feel.
While the great warrior Arjuna heard this man's cries, and his heart really went out to him, but Arjuna was also, well, he was very proud of his own strength. So he stood up tall and made this gigantic promise. He said, "Don't you worry, I, the mighty Arjuna, will protect your next baby. And if I fail, I promise I will walk into a fire and give up my life." Wow, that is a huge promise to make.
So when the time came for the 10th baby, Arjuna got to work. He used his amazing archery skills and built this magical cage of arrows all around the house. Top, bottom, every single side was sealed. No one could get in or out. But when the baby was born, poof, it just vanished, body and all, right up into the sky. Arjuna had failed, and the father was so sad and angry, he just screamed at Arjuna.
But Arjuna refused to give up. He used all his power to search everywhere. He flew to the city of the death god. Nope, not there. He raced through the kingdom of the fire god and the land of the wind god. Nothing. He dove to the bottom of the deepest ocean and flew to the very top of the sky. He searched the entire universe, but the baby was just gone.
Arjuna's heart just sank. He had failed completely. He was ready to walk into the fire, just like he'd promised. But at that exact moment, his best friend, the wise and powerful Lord Krishna, showed up. He just smiled and said, "Arjuna, don't give up. It's okay that your strength wasn't enough. Mine is. I will help you find the children."
So Krishna and Arjuna climbed into this amazing divine chariot and started riding. They went past mountains and oceans, all the way to the very edge of the universe. And then they kept going. They rode right into a darkness so deep and so total that even their magical horses were completely lost. Just when it seemed like they were lost in the dark forever, Krishna just smiled, and he released his special weapon, the Sudarshana disc. And whoosh, it blazed with the light of 1,000 suns, slicing a bright, brilliant road right through the middle of the darkness. It was like a giant, magical flashlight, guiding them to a place beyond our world. They followed that incredible light and came out of the darkness into a place you can't even imagine. Before them was this giant, shimmering, endless ocean. And floating on the water was a magnificent palace made of sparkling jewels held up by thousands and thousands of shining pillars. It was amazing. Inside, they saw a great and powerful lord resting on a giant serpent. It was Mahavishnu, the source of everything. And guess what? This was the same kind Lord Vishnu from our first story, just in his biggest, most powerful form. He smiled and said, "I brought the children here. They're all safe. I did it because I wanted to see you both." This whole thing wasn't a test for Arjuna. It was an invitation. So together, they brought all 10 children back to their happy, crying father. Arjuna had kept his promise, but not because of his own power. And the biggest victory, the most important part of the story, wasn't even bringing the children home. It was the wonderful change that was happening inside Arjuna's own heart. Arjuna, the mighty warrior, he finally understood. His real strength didn't come from his arrows or his big, proud promises. That kind of strength was actually pretty small. Real, unstoppable strength came from being humble and from trusting in the incredible love of his friend Krishna. With that help, he realized anything was possible. So, from our 2 stories today, we found 2 amazing secrets to being truly strong. From Lord Vishnu, we learned that our strong heart is a forgiving heart. And from Arjuna, we learned that a really strong person is a humble person, someone who knows it's okay to ask for help from a power of love that is bigger than we are. And all that makes me wonder, where does your real strength come from?